How's it going, everybody? Doing a Sega Genesis collection vid here today. I'm pretty sure I did not do one on this channel yet. I've done it on my other channel. I think I got 36 games here. One is not mine. I'm borrowing it from a friend. I talked about this, I think. When I went to New York a few months ago, I was like, oh, can I just borrow this? Because I wanted to play it. It's a cool game. But I figured I'd show it. I'm bringing it back up there in May. But I will show it anyway. I like 36, well, technically 35. That one's his. A lot of sport games in here. A lot. I've talked about in the past on my other channel. Maybe even on this channel. I love the Sega Genesis sport games. I love a lot of sport games from that era and the 8-bit era. I kind of lost interest in sports stuff kind of after the Nintendo 64. I played a couple, I really loved ESPN. NFL 2K5 was awesome. I played a few sport games in that era, the PS2, Xbox era. But my main sport game playing, and I played some on the Nintendo 64 as well. A couple of the Madden 64, and then I think 01 and NHL Fast Break 98. But I still want to get some sport games for this thing. So I'm going to start grabbing them. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of these. The first one I'll show here, I've not played yet. I got quite a few of these and a lot off of eBay. This is a Rugby World Cup 95. I've not played this yet. I probably should have tested it to make sure it works, but that was a while ago. If anyone's played this one, let me know how it is. A lot of these are EA Sports ones as well. The Electronic Arts. College Football 97. This is a pretty cool college basketball game. Got Coach K, so it's Mike Krzyzewski, I believe. College basketball. It's cool. It's in the vein of, it looks like the NBA Lives do when they turn the angle of the court from the Lakers vs. Celtics games. It's just college teams. I think you can play up to 32. You can't play a full 64-team tournament here. You can play... Cat here. You can play a 32-team tournament. Here's a couple of non-sport games. You'll see some. Centurion, Defender of Rome. I picked this up maybe last year or 2 years ago. I had this game as a kid, and it was cool. It was like a strategy game. It takes place during the Roman times or whatever. I remember it being pretty fun. Jungle Strike, the second. This is the sequel to Desert Strike, and then I think Urban Strike says the sequel to Jungle Strike. These games are cool, the helicopter games. You're saving people, you're blowing up certain things and stuff like that. Desert Strike probably is still the best. The first one is probably still the best of them. I need to pick that one up. I don't have that one on... I had it on the Genesis back in the day. I don't think I ever actually owned... I definitely never owned Urban Strike. I'm not sure if I actually owned this one back then. I probably did. But they're cool little games. I like helicopter games like Choplifter and stuff. Madden 94. A lot of people's favorite Madden. I do like it. I feel like the Madden games have not held up as much as the NHLs and some of the basketball games as well for the Genesis. I feel like these football games have held up the least. Not that they're still playable, but I feel like they don't have the same classic feel that they used to. This is a lot of people's favorite, though. Where are the... Got NHL Hockey, the first one. Still cool. Just cool to have. NHL PA 93, so the first game didn't have the players' license, it had the teams. This one just had the players, but not the teams. Definitely an improvement on the first one. And then I have to show it. It's in case, so I have to show it later. Here's NHL 97. I wasn't a fan of NHL 95. They changed the look of the players and stuff. A few of my friends really liked that one. I couldn't get into it the way I could with these other ones. NHL 97. And I believe this is the last one that was released on the Genesis, 98. This one actually has some value. Unfortunately, the save battery in this does not work. So either I got to pop a new one in and solder it on, or what. Not that I'm necessarily playing it, but I played some of it. It's still classic NHL. You get more as it went on. You get more features and stuff like that. NHL Live 95, NBA Live 95. Oh my god. I have this on the Super Nintendo as well. I originally had it on the Super Nintendo back in the day and played the hell out of it. It's a great game. It's the first one after NBA Showdown, which had the side to side on the court. This one has like a diagonal look, and it works. They're cool games. I remember playing a ton of this. After that one, I did not play anymore on the Genesis. I played one. I don't know what year it was. It might be on the PS2. It would probably been on the Xbox. But I kind of checked out on the NBA games at that point. What do we got? Oh, actually, I do have NBA Showdown. I'm looking at it right now. It's in the Retron 3 that I have. I was playing it. That was the last game I was playing on that thing. So, yes, I own that one. That was supposed to originally be Bulls vs. Suns, but they changed it to NBA Showdown, and then they changed it to NBA Live. But speaking of those old games, Lakers vs. Celtics, an absolute classic. It still the next two as well, and they still hold up as well as NBA Showdown. They move a little slow. They got a little faster as it went on. The NBA Lives, when it turned to that, it was moving a lot faster than these older ones. But these are still playable. They're great one-on-one games if you're playing with friends and stuff. I remember playing my friend's brother. He was older back when this first came out. And I remember his mom, I might have talked about this in a video actually on here. His mom was like, "You gotta take out the garbage." He's like, "I'm in a barn burner." We was playing like a tight game of this back and forth. It's an awesome game. This just has the playoff games, the playoff teams. Actually, see, this is the this came out in '90, but this would have been the Blazers and Pistons finals. But they took out, maybe the Knicks are not in here, and they swapped them out because they only had the final 8 teams in the playoffs in this one. And I want to say the Celtics would have actually been knocked out very early by the Pistons in this playoffs. And the Knicks would have made it. No. Well, yeah, because you would have... Yeah, because Portland's in it. Who's in it in the West? Portland, maybe Utah, the Suns, and the Spurs? I don't know. And then it was Bulls, Pistons, Celtics. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Lakers were in there. Lakers, Blazers, Suns definitely. Maybe the Jazz and the Spurs might have been one of the other one. But in the East, it was the Bulls, the Celtics, the Pistons, and the Sixers, maybe. It should have been the Knicks. But everybody knows Lakers versus Celtics, so. Bulls versus Lakers, more the same. You know, certain guys had special moves. Lakers versus Celtics is the one where Tom Chambers was like dunking from just inside the 3-point line. It was crazy. There's a lot of unstoppable, guys like Terry Porter are dunking from the line. You just get near the free throw line and hit the button if you're stuck there, and the players just launch. But it's fun, and we keep stats. Maybe that one didn't. I don't know. This one should have just stats for the game, not like you're not playing a season. You just play through the playoffs. Same thing here though. You only get you also get the All-Star teams, but you're only getting 8 teams in this one as well. And then there's Bulls versus Blazers. I can't remember if they added any teams, like if it was a full playoff roster or it was still just the final 8. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but much of the same. They're just classic games with awesome music as well. The guy who did the music for this, no, it doesn't say it on here. He does the music for Road Rash, the NHLs. A lot of it sounds very similar. I forget the dude's name. The Lakers or Celtics one's like it's classic. I kind of almost want to get the cases for these just to have the cases for them. At that point, I might as well just buy the case in the games because you can buy these games complete for like under $10 off of eBay or elsewhere. Hardball 3. This is more of like a simulation baseball. These were cool. I originally played this on, I don't think it was the Commodore, maybe the IBM home computer. But it was cool. Like the stadiums look super cool in this. They looked like the actual stadiums, like Yankee Stadium, Fenway, Wrigley Field. It was really cool. Pretty solid baseball game overall. And it has a little bit of a different cartridge. Well, here's finally. So those were literally all the EA games. I have a few box, but those are literally all EA games. Here's a regular Genesis cartridge. Tecmo Super Bowl. Awesome football game. I originally did have this on the Genesis. I feel like I had it on the Super Nintendo as well. It's an awesome game. It's still fully playable now. Just fun, kind of arcadey because it move like certain players move. Depends on who they are, but you have a lot of fun. Like if you're using, I usually use the Oilers because of the run and shoot offense. So it's like Warren Moon throwing to Ernest Givens, Hayward Jeffries, Webster Slaughter, Curtis Duncan. Super fun. You're piling up stats like crazy. It's keeping your stats throughout the season and stuff. It's just fun. You can simulate as well if you want, which I like to do just to see who wins. And here's Tecmo Super Bowl 3, the final edition. I only played some of this. It's much of the same, though. They might have added in trades maybe at this point as well. I think in this one... Is it this one? Or is it 2? Maybe this one as well, where you can play like different seasons. Like you can play like the 93, the 94, and then like the 95 season. This would have come out in 95. The final edition. It wasn't, though, because it came out on the PlayStation as well. I had that. I got that at a garage sale a couple summers ago. It was a great garage sale. I got Resident Evil Director's Cut there, too. It's like 8 games for $10. It was those two, a couple of the PlayStation games. Force Unleashed, Red Dead Redemption. But I sold that a couple of months ago. I was like, I'm not going to bother with this. This is the one I'm realistically going to play the most of. So I sold it because it does actually, for a sport game, the Tecmo Bowls have a little bit of value, and that one has like $25 to $30 in value. Even these, like this one's the cheapest, and Tecmo Super Bowl on the NES isn't expensive, and the original isn't that expensive either. The second one, I bought the second one on the Super Famicom, plays exactly the same. It's all in English because it's literally like a third of the price of that version here on the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, like $50-$60. It's weird. Garfield Caught in the Act. It's just a 2D platformer with Garfield. It looks really nice. The animation and stuff's really nice. And this Garfield looks like the character himself. Looks nice. I think you get sucked into the TV in this and you're playing like different horror things or whatever. Not horror related things. The first one, like you're in a graveyard. I think you end up in like a funhouse type thing and stuff. It's decent. This is the one that's my friend's Scooby-Doo Mystery. Awesome game. It's much, much better than the Super Nintendo one. The Super Nintendo one has the same name, but that is literally just a platformer. It's a fun game, platformer. This is a classic point-and-click adventure game. You play, I think, just 2 episodes. I think the first one's in the lodge, the Snow Lodge, and the second one's in the amusement park. But you got to figure out things, push, pull, take, stuff like that. Figure out where you got to use what, where, and stuff. But it's really like Scooby-Doo games should always be in the point-and-click type vein. Like the not the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64 one is very much like this one, except it's you don't have like the point, it's the options. It's just more, you're playing more of it. But it's in the same vein. It's more of like a mystery adventure game, not a platformer or anything like that. I mean, Night of 100 Frights and stuff like that are good, and those are platformers where you just use Scooby-Doo. They are fun, but when they're like this, they're awesome. This is an awesome game. It's a little bit of a pricey one too. I think the card only for this is like $50. Columns 3, just more columns. This is I think this is called, no, is it not called Revenge of Columns? It's Columns. The first one's my favorite still. U.S. Gold. Oh, sorry, that's who made it. Olympic Golds. This is Barcelona 92. Summer Olympics. You're just doing Summer Olympic stuff. I had this back in the day. I had purchased it, and it was, once again, a lot. You're doing the high jump, you're doing swimming, you're doing, I think you might do diving in this maybe. Pole vault is there, the hurdles and stuff like that. These Olympic games are kind of seem cool, but they're very they can be tough to play. Tecmo Super Baseball. So it's just like the other Tecmos, except it's baseball. It's keeping your stats for the season. You pick whatever teams of that year. I had gotten this and the one I'm going to show next from, it was called Play and Trade, I believe. Right when we moved to Islip back in New York. They had one that was in walking distance. It's like, oh, sweet. I went down there, I got this in the next game, and literally COVID shut everything down for like a couple of them up there. I know it's varied from state to state, but it was a solid like through like mid-March, April, and May. It was shut down for a bit. Like you could still go to certain stores, supermarkets, the laundromat, shit like that. But you couldn't go to no game store, and then they were just done. They moved to Selden, I believe, and I was like, shit. I really wanted to keep going there, but I picked this up. It's all right. It's not as good as like Tecmo Super Bowl. Or it's not as good as, well, no, I'll get to that one. I'll show it now. Tecmo Super Basketball, Tecmo Super NBA Basketball. Another cool one, same thing, stats. This has a side-to-side view. I really like this game. I originally had this one on the Super Nintendo. I actually still have my original manual for it. And where are my Blazers at? Which I should have mentioned a while ago for all these NBA games. This has, looks like Horace Grant, B.J. Armstrong, Pippen on the cover for the Bulls. I don't know who those are. They're playing the Bucks, I'm pretty sure. It's a cool game. I don't like it as much as the Lakers vs. Celtics games, but it's still good. But this is the other game I picked up with the Tecmo Super Baseball. NBA All-Star Challenge. This is another one I originally had on the Super Nintendo. This is a cool game. You got, who do you got here? Olajuwon, Ewing, Chris Mullin, and Drexler. Clyde Drexler on the front. He's my favorite. He's still my favorite player of all time for me, playing basketball, enjoying basketball. I'm a Portland fan. He's my favorite player. Sean Kemp was another one I really liked. Back then, Rod Strickland, Terry Porter, stuff like that. This game's cool. This has 5 modes. You play from each team. And this is, if you're getting this game, the mode you want to play the most is the 3-point shootout is the most fun. You pick a player, you go up against somebody else, do 3-point shootout. It's fun. There's a free throw competition, a one-on-one tournament, and then horse, I believe. I'm not sure if there's another mode. The second one, which I have on the Game Boy, actually introduced the dunk contest, and it actually works fairly well. And I did it on the handheld itself. I need to play it on the, I have the Retron Square that plays the Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy Color games. I need to play it on there to see how it looks there. But it actually played fairly well. And you wouldn't think it would, but this is a cool game. The one-on-one's decent. The free throws are okay. It's kind of annoying. Horse is all right. But it's all about the 3-point shootout with this game. And the last cartridge-only game here is Tiny Toon Adventures Buster's Hidden Treasure. I picked this up for my fiance because she likes the Tiny Toon. She has the 2 of them on the NES. And we have the Super Nintendo one as well. This one I like a little better than the Super Nintendo one. The Super Nintendo one could be a little bit of an annoyance to control sometimes. But this one's cool. They look nice. It's a fun platformer. We're using, I guess it's just Babs. And maybe you're just using Buster Bunny in this one. I don't know. I didn't play a ton of it, but it was pretty fun when I played. Alright, so the rest of the games are boxed. I think all of them are complete in box, actually, except one. First one here is Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? I still need to get Where in Time. That's the one I owned when I was a kid. I never owned this one back in the day. I might have played it on PC. It's a cool game. You're just doing stuff here. You have to catch like Carmen's henchmen at first, then you got to figure out where she went. You get a choice of places to go and stuff, so you got to follow her around, go to the right places and stuff like that. It's really cool. Originally, the version, the one I had, the Where in Time came with a big box with a thick encyclopedia in it. But I always like these games. This one was a little pricey when I picked that up maybe 3-4 years ago. It's like $30. Where in Time is much cheaper. And then there's I think they have Where on Earth, which is not the same thing as Where in the World. They've made other ones. They have one I have. It's like a platformer. I think they're making a new one too, based on that Netflix cartoon. Oh, this one I got back in September from one of the antique stores for $4. It's a Tony La Russa baseball, one I never played when I was a kid. I still haven't played it, but I thought it was cool because it had I think it's got the case manual, but it has all of the I'm not gonna pull them out. All the team cards for all the teams in there, so that was kind of cool. They used to do that kind of stuff back in the day. They'd give you like a poster with all the teams on it, or they give you these kind of cards and stuff. This was it was Tony La Russa a couple of years, and then it turned into MVP, I believe, MVP baseball or MLB PA baseball. I forget what they're calling it, but this might just have the. Oh, this has all the players. I don't know if it has the teams. This might not actually have the teams. So it's just going to be like Oakland, St. Louis, and stuff. Here is it. This is my original copy from when I was a kid, which is awesome. Sports Talk Baseball. My friends and I will still play this from time to time. Well, we don't as much now because I live in North Carolina. They're still in New York, but same thing with Lakers vs. Celtics and NHL. Well, I'll show that one actually. But we still play this, and it's cool to have my original copy. Of course, I pulled the tab off, but this is still a game that holds up. This has the player's license, but not the teams. So the teams just have like stupid-looking symbols. They're still all in their proper cities and stuff, but their symbols are like slightly off from what they actually look like. Awesome game that still plays well and has the sports talk announcer in there who's like has to catch up when the inning's over sometimes. He dropped it. I can't believe it. It's a good game though. It's fun. Still holds up fairly well. Road Rash 2. This is my favorite of those Road Rash games, especially the first three. I really like Road Rash 64 as well, but I bought this one somewhat recently. And it was pretty cheap. It was like $22 complete, which is a good price for this. It's an awesome game. It's my favorite of them. If you ever play these, it's a bike combat game where you're racing different cities and stuff. It's Hawaii, Alaska, stuff like that. Arizona, I think, has one. Cops will pull you over. You're getting chains and pipes. You're wailing on the opponents. You can hit a random cow and go flying. This is the kind of game where you get to the end of the race, you're blowing everybody out, and all of a sudden you hit something, a car or something else, and then all of a sudden you got to run to your bike, and everybody shoots past you at the end. But it's a super fun game. It's my favorite of those three. All three of them are solid though. And you buy better bikes, you get money for finishing, you get better bikes and stuff. So another one I bought recently at a good price, Power Monger. This is like a strategy game. I've never played it. I popped it in briefly just to make sure it works, but I did not get into it. It looked kind of cool though. I do need to play it at some point. I kind of want to collect more complete in box Genesis games, but I'm not going nuts. I kind of put myself at a price of like 30 and under. You can find a decent amount for 30 and under complete, but I'm trying to do it that way, but I'm kind of laying off them at the moment. More EA games. All three of these, 3, 4, were in Misford. It was published by, not developed by EA. I mean, a lot of these probably weren't published by were not developed by EA, but published by them. I have a ton of them. EA has 1,000 games on freaking Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Home Alone. This one does not have the manual. This is the best of the Home Alone games, actually, by far. It's better than any of the NES ones or the Super Nintendo ones, although I am very fond of this one on the Super Nintendo as well. But this one's cool because at the beginning you're outside the house on like a sled going around grabbing items, and the wet bandits are robbing houses. You gotta try to figure out what house they're in, or go to a house they're not in and set up traps in there that you've collected outside, and then it stalls and you gotta wait for the cops to come and stuff. It's actually really cool. It's definitely better. I have a fondness for the one on the Super Nintendo. I used to rent it a lot and play it a lot back when I was a kid, but this one is a better game, and I never played this one back then. Look at these. I should have said sport. I swear, the Genesis case, the original, not the newer ones that they made, that the red spine. I have one that actually has, so I'll show it to you. But this checker pattern, kind of board pattern, looks so nice on the shelf. It's a great case. That's definitely a thing they had over the Super Nintendo, was their cases. I love both systems. I waffle back and forth on which ones. They're my top two favorite ones of all time. I love that generation of games. This is another one that's my original case and manual, but not the original game. I rebought the game like last year, but it is Echo the Dolphin. This is a cool game. It's kind of tough, but it's fun using a dolphin, jumping out of the water and stuff. Then there's parts where you have to go through caves and you got to go to air pockets and stuff. I think you're fighting random other marine life and shit. Echo. This is another one that was cheap that I bought recently. A 688 attack sub. I like submarine games. I like Silent Service I have on the NES. I enjoyed that. There's one I played, I think it was called Destroyer. I don't know if that was a straight sub game or not. That was on the Commodore 64. But you're going around finding things to blow up and stuff using the periscope and shit. It's a fun little game. And this was cheap. I mean, this is the kind of game that's going to be expensive. This might have been like $12 complete. Just great. Genesis. I always go back and I think because it was called the Mega Drive everywhere else. I don't know why they didn't call it that here. I think the Genesis name is good. It's fine. But Mega Drive I always think is a little bit better. Just sounds cooler than Mega Drive. Genesis is fine. But Mega Drive is a little better. And here it is, NHL 94. This is my original case and manual too, as well as another game coming up. The game is not. My friends and I would still play this. This is my favorite hockey game. It's awesome. If this had a season mode, forget about it. But they added the one-timers in this one, and it was awesome. It still plays well too. That's the thing. It still plays well. Guys would come up to the glass. Fans, you could smack people into the bench and shit. Goalie control, four-way sport. If you have the thing I used to have it, they plug it in. You play four-player, and I'll show you why I had it in a minute. Here's to see the other spine. This was $6 whenever we got this Jeopardy Deluxe Edition. But this spine's not bad, but it's nothing compared to this. Like, come on, this one's so much better. And then they changed the Genesis logo as well. Probably when they introduced the Model 2. And that's Jeopardy. You're answering questions. This is 94 edition. Got a much younger Alex Trebek, rest in peace. No. These are alright games though. Game Tech did all these kind of games based on shows. Wheel of Fortune, Classic Concentration I have. Or just call it Concentration, maybe it's called. And there was other games too, like Family Feud and stuff, I believe. Was there a Family Feud for the Genesis? I don't know. And the last one is what I had the 4-controller port thing, whatever it's called, the adapter for, was this FIFA International Soccer. This again is my original case and manual, not the game. We used to play this game a ton. Same thing with NHL 94 back in the day. We would play, and we had a little Stanley Cup. And we'd play, like, if there was 4 of us, sometimes there was 8. If there was 8 of us, 4 of us, we'd play a tournament. The winner would get the cup, hold on to it till the next one, unless they won it again. But we played a lot of this 2-on-2. I remember there was a chant. It sounded like this. I don't think it was this, but it was like, we pay all the rent. That's what it sounded like they were saying in the crowd. But you can do all types of shit. I think there's bicycle kicks in this. It looks really nice. Like, it has a cool look, this game. It's kind of also on a diagonal, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Just a super fun game. I need to get more of the Genesis ones. I did play a soccer game. It was one of the FIFAs. I think it was like FIFA 17. I had it on the Xbox. No, I didn't have it on the Xbox when I played it there, but I had the EA Play, whatever their service was called, and I played a bunch of that. It was fun still. But this one, I loved playing this one. They had like maybe 2 or 3 more on the Genesis. But yeah, that is my Sega Genesis collection. Like I said, I want to pick up some more games. They don't necessarily have to be in the box, but if I can find them at a good price, I'd get them in the box. Sport games, there's a few sport games I still want to pick up for it as well. And regular games also. But you get these collections. I got the Sega Genesis collection. There's been 1,000 of them. I have one on the Xbox One. There's like 50 games on it, so you really don't need to go nuts getting the games because you're going to be buying shit you already have on that collection or whatever. But anyway, I'll just show my Sega Genesis collection here today, and thanks everybody checking this out, and have a good day.